All right, well, good evening. How was your meal? Very good, very good. Excellent, excellent. Well, I would like to start by acknowledge and thank our AS Catering and our AS Catering manager, Elaine Kramer, our chef, and our students for delivering an amazing meal for this evening. Thank you so much. Well, we're here tonight to celebrate and share the successes of Transform Tomorrow, the first comprehensive campaign in the history of Chico State. In this campaign, today, we have more than 50,000 donors from all over the world have invested in our students, faculty, and staff, and helped transform Chico State. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to all of you here tonight, all our benefactors who been with us this evening. And for those who are watching us online, I would like to say thank you if you live across this great land. And if you live in Canada, especially on the east side of the country, I want to say merci beaucoup. And if you live in Israel, I want to say toda rabah. And if you live in Japan, arigato gozaimasu. And if you live in Puerto Rico, gracias. And if you live in Qatar or the Middle East, assalamu alaikum wa shukran. Thank you. Let's learn about the impact of your generosity on this campaign from our students.
What do you want the future to look like?
What problems would you like to solve?
How can we work together
to shape the way our tomorrow
transforms? The world is rapidly changing. When Chico State opened in 1889, our first students arrived by horse and studied by lamplight.
Today, because of your vision as our 21st century founders, our 17,000 students are preparing for new opportunities.
Thanks to you, we study with cutting-edge technology. We work in renovative labs using hands-on learning to meet 21st century challenges of a complex, globalized economy.
Because of your imagination, we've been able to transform the ways we teach and accelerate our research.
We are combining time-tested regenerative ag methods with enhanced data to transform farming.
We'll use digital games to boost learning in the classroom and support diversity that sparks our creativity.
Because of your values, we're inventing new ways to work.
I'll become an engineer to 3D print life-saving organs.
As a nurse, I'll customize medical treatments.
I'll design holograms to build greener, more livable cities.
Thanks to your commitment, we'll be able to use big data to predict natural disasters.
And protect our water, forests, and rich biodiversity.
We'll pioneer more flexible and sustainable forms of energy.
Create new materials like nanodots for ultra-fast computing.
I'll use augmented reality to engage children in a museum.
And digital marketing to ignite new musical collaboration.
I'll master quantum computing for highly accurate predictions.
With artificial intelligence, I'll launch a company that reduces costs, energizes customers, and becomes globally competitive.
With your support,
your incredible vision,
your imagination,
your values,
and your transformative commitments,
we will work together
to ensure that tomorrow isn't just exciting.
It's transformed wildly.
Wildly!
This evening is hosted by the University Foundation Board and our president, Gail Hutchinson. The mission of the foundation is to support CSU Chico's strategic plan by raising, investing, and dispersing funds to fuel the growth and excellence of the university. Under the leadership of our foundation board of governors, the foundation assets have grown and the endowment have seen a tremendous growth during this campaign, moving from $35 million to over $64 million. I want to thank our Board of Governors for steering our foundation into a sustainable future. Now let's hear from our foundation board.
The University Foundation plays an important role in the success of Chico State. Entrusted to receive, invest, and distribute philanthropic gifts, the University Foundation Board consults with campus leadership to create an investment policy statement that outlines portfolio objectives, benchmarks, and overall strategy.
We want to see that the university, its students, faculty, staff, and administrators have the resources they need to transform the future in a positive way.
Because of the work of our expanded board, the foundation has seen tremendous positive growth. This growth has been strategic to advance Chico State to the next level.
The board also has the responsibility to enhance the foundation's assets by engaging directly in fundraising and philanthropy. We increase the endowment by guiding appreciation, positive return, and encouraging future gifts.
We've added board members with expertise in new disciplines, professional preparation, and experience. These are the experts who will guide us to new heights.
As volunteer board members, we take our role seriously and act as careful stewards of the donors' philanthropic investments. Our goal is to preserve and protect the Foundation's assets for posterity.
The board is also charged with creating and updating the criteria for manager selection, evaluation, and termination in the investment policy statement.
Through the transformations made possible by gifts from Chico State's next generation of founders, we will be positioned to solve the problems and capitalize on the opportunities of tomorrow.
Thank you. I would like to ask our University Foundation Board who are here with us this evening, please stand to be recognized. I want to thank you for your leadership and your commitment and support to Chico State. Our first speaker for this evening is a member of the class in 1996, a successful attorney, a true champion for higher education, and a philanthropist. Please join me in welcoming the chair of our foundation board, Stuart Casillas.
Great. Welcome, everyone. Thank you very much for coming. As chair of the University Foundation Board and as alum of Chico State, it's my pleasure to welcome you to this fantastic event. I'd really like all of us to give a round of applause to Ahmad and his staff for putting this together. Such a wonderful event. Thank you all. It's the board's honor to host you here tonight. We celebrate our successes as we launch the public phase of our first fundraising campaign here at Chico State. As you know, in 1887, Chico won the bid to establish the Northern Branch State Normal School, and that was possible only due to generosity of members of the Chico family. They believed in a future Chico State, its new graduates, and their ability to transform the region and the North State. They believed in the bright future ahead, as we do to this day. Most of us know that John and Annie Bidwell donated 8 acres of a cherry orchard and water rights, which became the original footprint of the college. But it also took the philanthropy of additional people within the Chico community to raise $10,000, which back in 1887 was quite a sum of money, to secure the bid for Chico State. Our mission as the Board of Governors is to follow in their footsteps and to assist you as the new generation of founders of the future Chico State. Our charge is to wisely grow the assets of the University Foundation and support Chico State's next century of growth. To propel us forward, we've grown the board, adding new expertise and intellect. When the markets change or the world changes, we'll be able to ask the right questions. With new insights, we'll be able to make the best possible investment to maximize the potential of your donations, your generous donations to the foundation. In our efforts to be wise stewards of your resources, we are very happy to have a very close and collaborative relationship with our president, Gail Hutchison, the cabinet, and the broader Chico community, and we very much appreciate that. They help us decide when to proceed and when to perhaps pull back, and how to move things forward. It's a very collaborative process, and we appreciate everyone's input. You made all of this possible, and together with our assets wisely stewarded, we have an opportunity to shape a brighter future, not just here in Chico, but wherever our graduates end up after they finish here at their, in their wonderful experience here at Chico State. So for a one-of-a-kind Chico, for our marvelous gem of a North State region, for our magnificent, diverse state, your investment is in the right place and in the right hands. Thank you all very much for coming. We very much appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Stuart. Transform Tomorrow was designed to support three main priorities. The first priority was focused on empowering student success by providing our students educational opportunity inside and outside the classroom, engaging them in research and community projects, and allowing them to participate in a competition at the local, regional, and national level. Since the beginning of this campaign, more than $37 million have been invested in our student success. Let's hear about the impact of this priority from one of our students.
So research is critically important for success. We gain knowledge and skills we wouldn't gain in the classroom. We build connections with people that could offer us jobs and opportunities in the future. And especially for first-generation students, it shows us that we are capable of something, which is very important for me. Because of the research experience here in the College of Natural Sciences, I was able to get accepted at NIST and go work in an atomic laboratory under Nobel laureates. And my dream came true because of Chico State.
Our next speaker for the evening is a member of the class in 1981, an educator, an administrator, and a philanthropist. Please join me in welcoming Marilyn Reese.
Well, this is exciting if you all pretend you're in junior high school or high school, and I will be perfectly fine as your principal. Taking you back to 1905, my grandfather's family immigrated to the United States from Russia by first settling in the Guadalupe Valley in Mexico, where he was raised as a cowboy, eventually landing in San Francisco, where my mother was born and raised in the Russian community there, where most everyone spoke either Russian or Spanish. She had to learn English before she went to kindergarten, and back then they did not have programs for second language learners, and that made it a little difficult. And my grandparents also learned to speak English, along with my mother, so they could support her efforts at school. Our mother, who is now 88 years young, became one of the Bay Area's finest classical organists, a position she most recently retired from at the age of 85. It was that family experience, that history, and that focus on the importance of the next generation's education that inspired me to become a music teacher. What brought me to Chico State is our remarkable focus as a campus on the connection between faculty and students, the one-to-one connections that empower student success. The first time I met a professor in the music department, I was a young violist who came to visit with a friend who was a violinist. We both had a passion to become music teachers and heard that Chico State had a strong program for music educators. We met with Dr. Al Leffler, who was chair of the department at that time. He sat with us, he listened to us play, then he walked us over to admissions and saw us through that process, saying, "These students need to be here and let's make it happen." Within a few hours, we were students at Chico State. And then we needed to find housing and jobs. Another Chico State professor who empowered success for so many of us was Daniel Heaston, who conducted the concert bands and taught music education for aspiring teachers. His assignments were different, out of the box, and he made sure we would graduate with a full school year's worth of teaching plans to use during our first year in a K-12 school program teaching music. His passion was preparedness and perfection. Those of us fortunate to study with him remember that he expected no less than 110%, 24/7, so we gave it. And really, it was easier to give that than to deal with the results of listening to him if he was unhappy. In the community here, there are many for whom Daniel Heaston had a huge effect on their academic success and their passions and for what they became as teachers, whether they went on to teaching music or something else like math, science, or elementary education. When I graduated, I was fortunate to find a job teaching music and English at Corning Union High School, a small and vibrant community just 30 miles away. In the year 2000, having taken classes on Monday and Wednesday evenings and Saturdays, teaching full-time, raising my daughter, I received my master's in education and my administrative credential. Thank you. I was hired at Chico Junior High School as assistant principal and finished my administrative career as principal of Neil Dow Elementary School here in Chico, a Title IX school that received the honor of becoming a California Distinguished School during my final year as principal in 2014. And we reached that goal by supporting our students at their level, both academically and socially, which had a profound effect on their success in education. I could think now of a small child, autistic, who struggled with life and was not able to engage in what we would consider a regular school environment. When we as teachers, myself as administrator, when we changed our focus to supporting students where they were that day on that child, it made a huge impact on our school environment and student success. That student today, or this May, will be graduating high school in the top third of their class due to the type of support, the support that is blind to both ability and disability. It is imperative that we continue to find ways to support students, no matter where they come from or what path they have chosen for their future. What connected me to the Tower Society is that my husband, Rick Reese, worked here at Chico State for 38 years in student activities. He loved working with college students, Pioneer Days, helping them become leaders within their student organizations, and was involved with the many activities within the hundreds of groups on campus. Between my work and his, we had the whole K-12 and college student experience to discuss at night. It was after his untimely death that I decided to develop a scholarship in his memory. And remembering people is a positive thing. And through our scholarship, we have the ability to support the next generation of students. When students in their senior year of high school can be encouraged to come to a four-year university and with support do well and find purpose and meaning in their lives, that is where my passion still lies. That's what I like to get involved in, empowering students to succeed. One of the best things about working with students, as I've had the fun and privilege to do throughout my career, is that you and we are completely oriented to the future. Students are always looking ahead, focused on their dreams and on tomorrow, and they take you with you. They take you with them, and they require that you go with them. When you work closely with students, you have an intimate knowledge of how resources matter. You get to see how both unrestricted and targeted gifts help support successful existing programs, allowing those programs to evolve to address new needs. Increasingly, Students are finding opportunities for hands-on learning experiences within community organizations. Our giving allows teachers and professors to launch new class projects, new curriculum, new programs when these new needs and opportunities arise. As donors, we have the opportunity to work with the teachers, counselors, professors, and administrators of Chico State to ensure that we are at the forefront of creating these kinds of new educational experiences that position students for ultimate success. So I want to thank you, donors, for your support in empowering our students here at Chico State. We love it. And together we make the difference for the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Marilyn. The second priority of our campaign is focusing on building cutting-edge facility that complement and support the academic quality and enhance the educational delivery for our students. Since the beginning of this campaign, more than $5.6 million have been raised to be invested in our facilities. Let's hear about the impact of this priority from our faculty and students.
Having the appropriate learning environments is going to transform the learning experience.
Having that up-to-date technology, those hands-on resources, those tutoring centers on campus, they really allow us to help ourselves.
We feel it and we see it when we walk into a classroom and we have the supplies we need in order to do a lab. Or we walk into a facility and we know like we're using the best.
Today's successful organizations require cutting-edge technology and facilities. To prepare our students for jobs in those industries, they require cutting-edge academic facilities.
Our next speaker for this evening is a member of the class in 1994, a successful CEO, a motivational business leader, and a philanthropist. Please join me in welcoming Dennis Murphy.
Good evening, I'm Dennis Murphy. I graduated Chico State in 1994 as a civil engineer. And you bring me back here on an April afternoon with that soft, warm wind, and I mean, it just takes me back to when times were a lot easier, a lot simpler. And what a treat and what an honor to be here tonight. This university has given me so many gifts and has really helped me as a human and in my career. So I'm going to say engineering was tough for me. Mostly the physics and calculus, and so if it wasn't for the laboratory work, the lab work, it would have been a lot more difficult. In the labs, that's where I excelled. And so if you've done this, you know. But what we do there as students is we design things, we build them, and then we break them. And that seems real simple, but the fact that you get to design something yourself, build it, and then put it under a machine and test it until it breaks, the education is immense. And that, in my life, that circle of thought in business has helped me a ton. So when I left, I came back every year to recruit Chico State civil engineering students for my company. And when I was here, the labs were old and the material testing equipment was old. And I said, well, if I'm ever in a position where I could help out, that's something I want to do. And so I guess it was about 10 years ago or so, we came up with this idea to rebuild the concrete lab. And so I helped with the donation, and we teamed up with CIM and the university. And I got to tell you, that's when the magic happened. Because it's easy to write a check, and it's easy to donate to things, but the throughput can be discouraging if it's not with the right organization. And I'm here to tell you that this university has been an awesome steward of my philanthropic donations. And Ahmad and his team made this new lab come together. And when they started telling me about, like, I think this was the first capital improvement in 185 years. And I think it was the irrigation canal that that the founders built. But when they told me how, like, they said, here's the process, I'm like, there's no way, there's got to be a better way. And Ahmad says, we're going to find a better way, because the process, and they got through it, they cut through it. And since then, the capital improvements on this campus have been awesome. And this is what it takes to graduate students with the edge to go out and be competitive. And not just the experience of being in a great college town like Chico, but this is what it takes. And so thank you for all of your efforts on this campaign. And it doesn't stop here. So let's keep this momentum going. Let's see if we can't ignite the spirit of generosity outside of this room so we can hit the $100 million. And let's go for it. Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. Our next priority in the campaign is really focus on investing in our people by creating scholarships and endowments to support student scholarship, professorship, and programs. Endowments help and protect the university in perpetuity by retaining and recruiting the best and the brightest of our students, faculty, and staff. Since the beginning of this campaign, just to show you some of the impact of this investment, since the beginning of the campaign, more than $31 million have been invested in our people, and more than 5,000 students have received scholarships. Just think about that for a second. 5,000 students have been benefited from a scholarship because of your investment and all other donors across the globe in our institution. Let's hear about the impact of this priority from our donors.
We started with a gift, an endowed fund for an associate professor position within the College of Business, the accounting department. The next piece in that process was one that we gave around Joyce's dad.
I always knew I wanted to be a teacher, and I wanted to take French. And my dad said, "You live in California, you are taking Spanish." I became a bilingual teacher through Chico's very early program in California, and I owe that to my dad. So we created an endowment, is that the right term? Yep, for a student in the credential program, and it's been very gratifying to meet the students that have received that support and watch them sort of carry on my career as a result of my dad's encouragement.
Joyce and Glenn, thank you for investing in our people. And Joyce, I just want to let you know, your father's legacy will live on forever here at Chico State and will make an impact in the lives of many students for years to come. Thank you. Our next speaker is a member of the class 2021, majoring in electrical engineering and applied physics. She's an active member in our community. She participates with Society of Women Engineers and Institute for Electrical and Electronic Engineers, and she is a future philanthropist. Please join me in welcoming Joanna Guzman.
Hello, my name is Joanna Guzman, Y-O-A-N-A, like Moana, the Disney movie, but with a Y. Little did I know, as I embarked on this wonderful journey of my undergraduate career, that I would have to repeat my name so many times, even just saying, "Can I have a double Western bacon cheeseburger, please?" at Carl's Jr. Speaking of junior, I am in my junior year, studying electrical engineering and physics. I am from a small border town in the Imperial Valley in Southern California by the name of Calexico, California, Mexico. Throughout high school, I took several AP or advanced placement courses to flesh out the specific career path that I would like to take. And one in particular stood out to me. It was AP Physics. All the topics covered were interesting to me, but one in particular stood out, and it was the application of electricity. Just that, the theory and application of electricity just fascinated me. I started my college career as an electrical engineering student, but as I met the faculty in the physics department, I soon fell in love with physics again. They reinvigorated my curiosity for knowing how the world worked. Their passion for teaching made me eager to gain a deeper understanding of electromagnetism, and I decided that I would endeavor to get a degree in both electrical engineering and physics. I felt compelled to come to Chico State because I met representatives of the Mesa Engineering program who visited my high school. As I sat in my classroom, I was hearing all about this great engineering program and just learning about Chico State in general and how great it was. It was affordable. And I would actually see seasons. I would see the leaves changing color and rain. Upon my arrival at Chico State on a hot August day, I remember feeling afraid as my mother embraced me for the last time. It would be my first time living far away from home. But as I watched her wipe the last tear from her eye, I knew that this was a risk worth taking. It was a whole new world, and I was excited for it. I'm a first-generation student, and what that means to me, among many things, is relentless grit. I've gone through countless bouts of inadequacy and insecurities, pursued by the shadows of failure. I didn't always know what I know now, and if I did, I would have reminded myself that my identity isn't founded in my successes or my failures. Those were unreliable. Life is unreliable and not easy. And neither is English. For instance, when I started learning English in second grade in a small 99-cent notepad, I would meticulously write down each unfamiliar word that I came across with. I would analyze it and reread the sentence to verify my understanding. Slowly but surely, second grade was becoming no longer a living nightmare, but rather a place where learning English was conceivable. Flash forward to high school, I remember my dad's knobby finger as he pointed to several fields of vegetation in my immensely agricultural community. As we drove down Highway 98, when we passed the field workers, he said to me in Spanish, "Los miras? Están trabajando duro, pero nunca estudiaron. Quiero que sigas estudiando para que agarres una educación y seas exitosa." See them? They are working hard, but they never got an education. I want you to stay in school to get an education and be successful. Seeing my mother single-handedly juggling the geriatric care of my grandmother, tending to the household, managing a daycare, supporting the costs of my public education, and keeping ties with extended family in Mexico has to this day inspired me to work just as hard as her. Though we lived paycheck to paycheck, she was able to provide a fulfilling life for me. She has been a great role model. I am inspired to not only work hard, but to keep a smile on my face, even through the difficult times, to never give up. I hold dear this truth from Galatians 6:9. Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. I have learned that whoever and whatever you allow to determine your worth is your God. And rather than enabling others to determine who I was, I rested in the truth that my identity is in Jesus Christ. Yes, my faith has been a great encouragement as I go about life. My insecurities were simply an invitation to something I so desperately needed to hear. That life will never be fair, but there is always hope. I once saw a documentary about a little hummingbird who wanted to help put out a massive forest fire. The other animals of the forest told the little hummingbird that his wings were far too small and his beak much too thin to really make any difference. The little hummingbird replied, "I am doing the best I can." And he continued to help. At Chico State, I have taken the opportunity to join organizations such as MESA, the Society of Physics Students, the Society of Women Engineers, which holds an annual STEM outreach event for K through 8th graders called Imagineer Day. I like to think that getting involved with these projects has allowed me to contribute in a small way and do the best I can with the skills and knowledge I have to offer. Participation has placed me in leadership positions, such as being a lab assistant for Imagineer Day, which have taught me that to lead is to serve others. Perhaps as my small contributions add up, it can inspire others, like me, to overcome their own adversities and pursue a higher education. I know that as a Hispanic first-generation female college student, I will be facing many other challenges in my life. Every day, I try to work as hard as I can. Why? Because time will pass by no matter what you do with it, and I choose to use it wisely. I know it will pay off. But my education is much deeper than that. You see, my education means so much more to me than just getting a good degree or job. It is a way for me to use my abilities to help my family and return the kindness given to me by my mother. It is a way for me to give back to my community, and it is a way for me to improve the lives of those in need. For some, these things may seem like minor contributions on a worldwide scale, but I feel that it's these small amounts of effort that will one day make a difference in the world. Although my educational journey has only just begun, I know that when I reach that point when I will be able to look back at my life, I will know that I left the world and my community in a state better than how I found it. I am determined to stand strong, regardless of what life has in store for me, and do the best I can, just like the hummingbird. I want to thank the donors of my scholarship, the Robert Merton Rollins Merit Award, immensely for investing in my education and for believing in me. Thank you for your support and investment in Chico State students like me. Thank you.
Thank you, Joanna. And now it's time to hear from the leader of our community, a leader who set the path for all of us, moving Chico State to new heights and providing every Wildcat an opportunity to succeed. Please join me in welcoming President Gail Hutchinson.
Good evening. Joanna, that was inspiring. Let's give it up for Joanna one more time. I have to say that, Joanna, your story is the story of many of our students here at Chico State. And not only right now, in the present, but over generations since the founding of this institution, where we have offered high-quality education that is affordable and high-quality education from renowned faculty who are just outstanding at what they do. And it's your story that inspires us to carry on because we believe you and we know that you will leave us not only with your life transformed, but you will transform the life of your community, the life of your family, and you will help make this world a better place. And I hope you remember us and can help us continue to make Chico State a better place. So thank you. And I'm going to add, you're a tough act to follow, so. Good evening, everyone. I'm thrilled that everyone turned out this evening, our loyal alumni, our cherished partners, and our valued advocates. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us. Tonight, we celebrate an amazing point in our campaign. Tonight, we recognize you, our most dedicated supporters, each and every one of you. Today decides tomorrow. Those words are inscribed above the doors of Kendall Hall, and I see these words each day when I walk to my office, and I look at them. I reflect upon them. Along with the entire campus community of faculty and staff, I take these words to heart as we all focus on building a brighter future for the university, but most importantly, for the students whom we serve. You can see this dedication to student success in action on our campus every day. Our commitment is to assist each and every student as they seek the knowledge, understanding, and self-awareness that will prepare them to thrive and prepare them to enrich the lives not only of themselves, but of their families, communities, and their professions. We provide an education that encourages and supports students as they strive to fulfill their own potential and embody this motto of today decides tomorrow. The university's long history and traditions have been passed on to generations of alumni. In turn, our alumni have lifelong connections to Chico State and to one another. And just for fun, how many folks in the audience are Chico State alum? I rest my case. I saw the power of that connection recently when I visited alumni in Washington, D.C. and in New York City, and recently on campus as well. I see it beginning to take shape each fall on the faces of the newly arriving students who are full of eagerness and wonder. In fact, I was walking around campus today and ran into 2 students who were coming here for the fall semester. One student was with her parents, giving them a tour. Another student was a transfer student who was with 2 other students from Chico State. And I have to tell you, the enthusiasm on these students who were joining us in the fall was palpable. They understand that opportunity is here. They understand that we provide an extraordinary experience and an extraordinary education. I see the dedication and the work of our faculty and staff who are inspired to work with our students, to nurture them, to help them learn through research, through their teaching, through activity, by taking them from classroom and into the community or from classroom into the laboratory, whether that's a laboratory on campus or a laboratory out in the community itself. What's really awesome right now is that momentum is on our side. Our mission guides us as we work to realize the dreams of the many students who, both today and in the future, benefit from their Chico State education and from their Chico State experience. However, we know there's a lot of work ahead of us. We're far from done. But there are a set of beliefs that we have, all of us in this room. We believe in what we do. We're passionate about it. We believe in our students, and we believe in their dreams. We believe in our mission, and we believe in a better future that college education can provide each and every student who walks through our doors. What's clear is that our students, our next generation, with their preparation from Chico State, will have extraordinary opportunity for the rest of their lives. As we continue to provide high-quality, accessible education right here in the North State, we will continue to transform the lives of each and every one of our students. And they will go on to transform communities, our country, our world. We have extraordinary opportunity to invest in them, and for all of you, I say thank you. To be not just recipients of change, however, we have the opportunity to shape what tomorrow looks like. For all of us, it's up to us. And again, we have momentum on our sides in terms of believing in our students and their dreams. So tonight, as we open the public phase of this comprehensive campaign, the first for Chico State, I am pleased to announce for the first time that we have surpassed the $75 million mark. So we're well on our way to reaching our grand total of $100 million. But we're going to be giving the big reveal right now as I'm speaking here. So as we think about this campaign for Chico State, and we know that we've surpassed 75, I bet you're wondering, how far past 75 are we? Well, I would say, drum roll, please. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to announce that we are at $75,977,253. Because of you. Because of you. Just all right. I think I look good with this. I'll use it as my boa here. So, our work continues, but because of you, we've made it this far. Because of you, that 100 million is within our reach. Because of you, I am confident that we will make our goal of 100 million by July 1st, 2021, or before. And I'm betting on before. We are building the foundation and the resources needed to support Chico State as the innovative partner of the North State and beyond, and it is your commitment and your belief in Chico State that make everything happen. And from my heart to yours, I say thank you. We celebrate with you tonight, and in going forward, remember, together we will transform tomorrow. At this time, I invite you to continue this celebration. You heard a little bit of dancing. I know that I like to dance. I know the provost likes to dance. So many of us will be out on Kendall Lawn, where we hope to join hundreds of others and really celebrate what you've accomplished, what we've accomplished this evening by really allowing us to surpass that 75 million and take this campaign to the public phase. So I invite you to join us, and we will definitely be departing here. And is Willie in the house? Okay, so what I would love for you all to do, if you finished your dessert, is that Willie is our Pied Piper. He will be leading all of us out to Kendall Lawn, where we'll continue this celebration. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you.